I believe Mission is a shining star in Johnson County. I hope we stop considering Keynesian philosophy and start really looking at some supply side economics. We need to really look at what we can do to attract businesses to come in. Johnson County had a lot of dirt roads in the 50s and 60s. People came here because it was low taxes and it was the right business climate. And after those things occurred, because of the tax base that you have, more money comes into the public coffers that way. Because more people are spending money.
He's been here since 1956, so we're not new, and we're not going to leave even if we have this tax. We have an investment in the city of Mission, and we're going to work hard to stay here. I'll pay my share of the tax if that's what it comes down to. I think, though, as we work forward, that the city needs to find a way. I can't believe I'm the only business owner that has been aware of this, whatever you want to call it, since last March. Now, I just can't believe that. And I think that as a group of forward-thinking business owners, if we didn't get together and stand up and do something about it, then we damn well better shut up now. It's too late. The city council has put us in our place. Think about it how you want, but these people have worked hard on this.
I wanted to know where some of the money went, because as people have touched, we've talked about expenses and income, but if you get down to the line items in the budget, you have, and it's still on your website, you may have cut some of it out now, but it's still on your website, $22,000 allotted for parties and annual holiday celebrations. $111,000 for travel and meals and leaving this town to go and basically further your own careers beyond this. And your response back was, if we cut out that $300,000 that I came up with, it was really only $150,000. Only $150,000. What I want to know is, if we pay this, and even if you increase the sales tax, at what point do we stop the bleeding? There's an epidemic of bad spending. That's my question.
Well, Ryan, as you know, in looking at our general budget, the general budget has come down for the second year of the year in a row, and our mill has decreased. Council voted to decrease our mill, so it's come down by another 2 mills because we're working to contract that general budget. And you may not like the money that's spent on having a holiday party, but a lot of the festivals that we have in the city of Mission are primarily put on by.
That's not your festival budget. Your festival budget is $45,000. That's a city council.
May
budget.
I finish, Ryan? They don't get, they're volunteers, they don't get paid. We have one thing for them at the end of the year, and we gave them a gift card for $25 to Hy-Vee. For all of that hard work and all those hours that they put in for the different festivals that the city puts on, that the tree board does, for the planning commission, for the downtown visioning commission or committee that we have a number of business owners on from all the different segments in the downtown area who we have talked with about their vision for Johnson Drive and what it's going to look like and what we need to do to get there. And I'm not going to apologize for having a holiday party for those folks. I went to Guam. I did. I went to Guam. I traveled for over 48 hours to be there for less than 48 hours. And yes, it was paid for by public funds. And it was to do it because I was about to go to the Kansas Secretary of State and ask and give support for the Gateway so that we could get star bonds for our aquarium. Now, I know the economy has slowed things down, but I'm here to tell you folks that mall was going away. It was going away, and they were closing it down, and they were shutting it down. It was going to be a vacant, barren building, probably similar to Bannister Mall, which I don't think we needed to have in our community. And so a developer came and bought it. And he's been working on it. He took that structure down, which I'm thrilled about. We would have to have more police if we'd had a vacant mall at the east end of our property, which I think would be a huge sign of blight. He is continuing to work on it. When the financial markets changed several years ago, the lender increased his lending requirements so that he has to have 75% of his leases signed before his funding will trigger. And he's at 66%, working on diligently on several different projects that would put him over that 75%.
It's all about how you spend the money. And it's not about thinking ahead of, oh, wait, I want, that Mission Mall, that there's going to be something bigger and better there. Again, wasteful spending on Martway, wasteful spending on the street light lamps, wasteful spending on narrowing Johnson Drive. And again, the whole reason from what we've heard of that is it's a bigger plan. Well, that bigger plan is not here. And it could never arrive. It may never happen. And maybe it will. But again, this is a result of wasteful spending.
Well, I've had many tell me that if we don't take care of our infrastructure and make sure we can support the development and redevelopment and have good streets, we're not going to have business here either. In fact, I've had a business owner, longtime business owner on Johnson Drive, that has told me that the cause of our poor economy in the city of Mission is because of the condition of Johnson Drive, and it needs to get replaced. Of course, he doesn't want to pay for it now, but Hirsch Casey.
Did the streets deteriorate overnight? They've been deteriorating for years.
That's
correct. And now
correct.
we want to do it all at one time and fix it? They should have been being maintained to begin with. Not wait till the last minute, they need to be repaired.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you that they should have been being maintained. These are 15, 80-year roads, but I wasn't here that long because I'm not that old yet. And we're at the place where we are now where these roads need to get replaced. And they don't all need to be replaced. Some of them do. Johnson Drive has been a problem. It's been talked about as long as I've been on council, and about getting our arms around and doing something and having a plan, which is why we've had that downtown visioning committee. And they've got a good plan and a vision for that portion of Johnson Drive, and we need to move. We need to keep moving. I mean, this is why I said if we don't care about the road, we just want to let it go to pot, we're just going to continue letting it go. But there are a number of business owners that complain about the condition of the road. I've been very clear with everyone is we're not going to put any money on Johnson Drive until we get some kind of a consensus of what we want it to look like from Lamar to Knoll.
Even having it repaired?
Well, we did go in and repair. We went and repaired the storm outlets that come from, I think, was it at Maple? We went and we replaced that because we had to replace it.
How much of this tax will be going towards the bicycle crossing at Knoll and Shawnee Mission Parkway?
I can't answer that.
I know Hirsch Casey said that the Johnson Drive is terrible, but I can also tell you that Hirsch Casey thinks that narrowing Johnson Drive is a waste of money and the 8-foot walkway is a waste of money, and that this TUF tax is not the way to do it.
I don't even know where to start with you, Laura. What I'd like to say is, this has all started back with the mall, people being pissed. It's our town, and we've seen nothing happen, but it just be nothing happening. And we don't mind, I don't think any of us mind helping keeping the city, but quite frankly, I can't afford those taxes. And I've got empty buildings like other people have empty buildings, and I just think if it wasn't so exuberant and you had something maybe to put along with it, it might help. But we're just all pissed, and you're not going to get out of here without everybody being pissed.
Laura, and I repeat, everybody here knows you love Mission. I think this is just some bad advice or something. I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, what do you think Tom Valente's 66% of his felling that mall down there will do when they hear about this tax? And two, is Knoll Avenue, can that be rescinded to keep it 4-lane to save some tax dollars? We could use that CARS money for a lot of different things. So, two questions there. I think Knoll can be rescinded. We spent a lot of money already for design, but I think it can be.
I'm going to answer Knoll first. 3 or 4 lanes isn't going to make a difference on the expense of it. Is that a true statement? it's not going to make a difference. It's not widening Knoll or leaving it Knoll at 4 lanes isn't going to make a difference. You cannot use money in other places. It's only on that road, and I don't know what the exact expense translation is. I think we looked at it after you raised that issue. And then with Tom Valenti, Tom knew what we were working on, and I haven't heard from Tom, and I have had none of the other businesses tell me that they're going to go away that he's already been leasing with.
I heard you say that the city would be involved in this, or city municipalities would be involved in this fee or whatever as well.
That's correct.
I mean, isn't that kind of like tax dollars paying for taxes?
Well, the fee is all going into a separate special fund. It's going in a specific transportation fund, and so it would be money that would have been general fund money that's going specifically in that transportation fund.
Generally, that's still tax dollars.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Right. But they're marked,
thing.
and another reason that we liked having it be in a dedicated fund is that the way our budget system works, you have to zero out each year. But with that fund, if things don't cost as much, that can roll over, so it defrays future expenses.
And just for clarification too, is I know this year they're looking at $72 or whatever for the fee average.
Right.
Is there anything in place to say that 2 years from now that doesn't go up to $140 or $180 or cost of living?
That's the maximum.
Some added, charges.
That's the maximum that council had authorized, and if the sales tax is successful, then that amount will come down. But right now, for a property owner, with the mill reduction, it equates to approximately $36, and so the net to a resident would be $36 right now if the maximum is used.
But if the city council so chose to, though, they could increase it for whatever reason. There's no law that says they can't.
Well, we've got our 10-year plan to fund it, and that's why we didn't tie it to any type of valuation so that it would be set. So, we pretty much know what we were going to raise. We know what the plan is, and so the plan's not going to change. We'd need to go through the process all over again if something happened and we needed some increase of revenue for that, but that's specifically for the different street projects. And we're continuing, because we're hearing you loud and clear, to work at continuing to contract our budget even further. But this is the first I heard about getting rid of our police department. And
Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Could you clarify something? You just said that COLA wasn't included. I was told last month that it was. So can you clarify on
what?
On the TUF?
What about it?
There would be a cost of living adjustment each year.
I don't think that.
Because Mike told me last month.
Oh, did?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't understand that.
If you look at the trip rate.
Thank you, Curry. I know it's going to be adjusted.
It allows for there to be an annual adjustment based on CPI. And we just tied it to that number that we grew by CPI. But my guess is, looking at construction, it's actually deflation, which means that we're actually going in the opposite direction. The same thing happened with wages. We index our salary ranges to CPI, and last year they went down. And my guess is you're seeing the same thing in construction right now. And I would guess that's the long term. And I sort of reserved at about the 8 o'clock hour to talk a little bit about the city budget, and you're already into the city budget. And so I thought I would do kind of like 10 minutes. You can ask the mayor any questions as relate to the city budget, because it seems to be sort of the underpinning of, if you could find money in your city budget, then would we really need to have a transportation utility fee? And the simple answer is yes. If we could find money in our general fund, if we could continue those large transfers from our general fund to capital improvements, no, you wouldn't need a transportation utility fee. The city, since probably 1995, the state of Kansas used to give cities somewhere between, let's say, $350,000 and $500,000 for a city of our size on an annual basis, and it was made up of local ad valorem tax reduction funds. It was made of city-county revenue sharing, special highway, which is one of those slivers that you see in the pie. And since 1995, and our state's not unique, the amount of money that the state no longer transfers to the city is somewhere around $500 million that they no longer transfer to cities to pay for things.